As far as fairy tale Formula One stories go, they don't get much better than Brawn GP. The team that rose from the ruins of Honda's decision to pull out of the sport has swept all before them. 5 races into the season, 4 wins, 3 pole positions. The England-based team has the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships in the palm of their hands.
We were really up against it. First we tried to find new owners for the team, weren't successful over the Christmas and New Year period, and eventually came to an agreement that the management would own the team. That only happened actually 23 days before we had to be racing in Melbourne, Australia.
That was the first race of the season and they finished 1-2. The first time a debut team has done that since 1954. They even managed it with a much smaller budget and a new Mercedes-Benz engine.
Did we imagine we'd be in this position? No, I don't think anyone would be so presumptuous. This is sport at the end of the day, and there's 1,000,001 things that can go wrong as well as right. We knew we had a good car. We knew we'd been developing the car for the whole of last year. Whilst Ferrari and McLaren were having their own battle for the World Championship last year, we dedicated all our resources to this year's car.
And that's been the key, the brilliance of Ross Brawn. The man who steered the great Michael Schumacher to many world titles while at Ferrari put everything into making this year's car suit the changes to the technical rules, like the aerodynamics, something his rivals failed to do.
So forget 2008, focus on 2009, understand the new regulations, take full advantage of them, and that's the car we've arrived at. And that's what would have been very frustrating over the winter, because having put in all that commitment early, for it to have not come to fruition would have been very frustrating.
The success, and indeed the survival of the team, hasn't come without pain. Immediately after the first victory in Australia, they had to cut their staff by nearly half to cope with the restricted budget.
Because we're now a private team, we've got to pay our way. Our sponsorship, we don't have a motor manufacturer behind us who is able to give us money to add more resource. So the reality is, from last year we had 700 people here. This year we've only got 450. We've had to downsize, quite significantly for pure commercial reasons.
The success presents a familiar dilemma for Brawn, one that he managed at Ferrari when Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello dominated the F1 circuit. He has 2 more drivers vying for the title in Jenson Button and Barrichello once again.
There may reach a stage later in the year where, in order to ensure that one of our drivers has the best chance of winning a Drivers' Championship, we need to ask the other one to support him in the best possible way, without working outside the spirit of the regulations of Formula One. But at the moment, today, both drivers have total freedom to race each other. The only proviso is don't knock each other off. I don't want to see any crashes.
While the likes of Ferrari focus their battles off the circuit with threats to pull out of F1 next season over plans by the sport's ruling body to restrict budgets, Brawn has no part in the dispute and can keep his eye firmly on the track in the build-up to Monaco this weekend.
You can do it, you just have to have a slightly different mindset. And I think the world's like that now. We're going through a difficult economic period. And I think you can still get the things you want out of Formula One, commercially, technically, from a sport side, for a lot less investment. And I think Ferrari just needs to be helped through that phase and understand how they can get all the things they want out of Formula One for a lot less money than perhaps they're used to spending in the past.
So here's some of the 11 trophies that Brawn GP have picked up so far this year. And the way things are going as they head into Monaco, they might want to invest in a bigger cabinet. Justin Armsden, CNN, Brackley, England.